Today I'm gonna make for you chicken fried pork steak with macaroni and cheese for your keto dinner. Hi, my name's Tim Harris. On my channel you can expect to find keto cooking videos and information about doing keto the healthy way. A little about me. I've been doing keto for over 14 months now. I've lost over 150 pounds. I'm a certified health nutrition life coach that specialized in the ketogenic lifestyle, intermittent and prolonged fasting. If you haven't done so yet, please click down there to subscribe to my channel and click the little bell icon. That way you'll be notified every time I post new content to help you in your keto journey. Now on to the show. Alright, so here's what you're going to need, okay? You're going to need 6 pork tenderloin steaks, which I bought, a big pork tenderloin. I cut my own steaks off it. I'll show you them here in a minute. I don't want to get pork on my hands. You're going to need 2 eggs, a half a bag of pork rinds, a half a cup of almond flour, and a 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. You're going to need 2 ounces of cream cheese, 1 cup of heavy whipping cream, and an additional 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. You're going to need 1 head of cauliflower, cut into bite-sized pieces like this and lightly steamed. And then you're going to need 4 ounces of mozzarella cheese. You're going to need 2 ounces of cheddar cheese or your favorite other cheese. And then you're going to need a can of diced tomatoes with the green chilies. Okay? Also, 3 tablespoons of avocado oil. Alright, so we have the pan here with the 3 tablespoons of avocado oil already in it. And I'm going to crack these 2 eggs right here, put them in this bowl. Okay, you want to make sure you don't get any shells in there. Shells don't taste very good. If you get some in there, make sure you get them out like I did. And then I'm just going to take a fork and I'm going to whip these eggs up a little bit till they're all uniform. Okay, now I already washed the pork tenderloins off and patted them dry with a paper towel. Make sure you do that, if you haven't done so. And then I'm just going to take the pork tenderloin. I'm going to dip it in the egg. Okay. And then I'm going to dip it into the breadcrumbs that are also pork rinds and also have the Parmesan cheese in it. Okay? So I get that nicely coated. I'm going to get the oil going. And you want to use avocado oil because it has a higher smoke point. And if you use olive oil to cook with, you're getting that up so high that you're killing all the monounsaturated fat that we actually want out of that to help us out. Let me just rinse off my fingers here really quick. Alright, so what I did here is, like I said, I had a tenderloin and I cut these myself. They're about a ½ inch thick. I didn't want them really thick because the way we're going to do this is I don't want the breading that we're putting on this to burn. So this is going to be called keto chicken fried pork steaks with macaroni and cheese, but we're actually using cauliflower for the macaroni. And you can also make a side of asparagus to go with this dinner. Then you got 3 courses. But I'm just going to do the mac and cheese made out of cauliflower and the chicken fried pork steaks, which they're really pork tenderloins, so they're even healthier for you than the steaks. Alright, so once the oil gets hot enough, we're going to start searing these up. I can hear it starting to creak my pan. Okay, so I'm going to finish breading these up really quick. So just dip them in the egg, flip it over, and then we're going to put it in this pork rind, Parmesan cheese, almond flour mixture. And just make sure you get some of it on the whole thing. Okay, and then just put that right in the hot oil. And you want to make sure you use a big enough pan to do all 6 of them. And if you have a smaller family, you can make this recipe even smaller. Unless you're trying to plan ahead and you're going to have some of this, you know, leftovers for dinner some night. And you just, you know, want to get this this breading stuck to it a little bit so that when we bake them, it sear to it very nicely. So I don't know if you all use, you know, pork rinds in a lot of your recipes, but like a lot of my recipes that call for, you know, like croutons or breadcrumbs, I just use pork rinds because I know they're keto safe. As long as you get the original pork rinds and don't get the flavored ones, they're keto friendly. Alright, so now you just want to brown these. Turn that burner down a little bit. Now I'm actually going to get out my glass pan because it doesn't look like this pan's going to be big enough. So if you had a bigger frying pan, you could use that. And then I'm just going to spray this a little bit with some coconut spray just so they don't stick to the bottom. And you could use a cookie sheet, anything like that. I'm going to use the glass pan. And again, you know, we're not trying to cook these all the way through. We're just trying to get the breading to stick to them so that we can put them in the oven, all right? Let me bring this over. Maybe you can see what they're looking like in there. All right, so now I'm going to take these three out. Put them right in this glass pan. Okay, and now I'm going to do the next three. So just dip them in the egg, then in the breading mixture. And you know, you can sprinkle some on the top, push it down on there if you want a thicker crust. Then I just have one more to do here. Okay, now I'll put this pan back on the burner, and I just want to get that breading to stick to the pork tenderloins. Alright, let me get this stuff out of the way. And now, you know, I already cut my cauliflower up. I part steamed it. I didn't steam it for the whole time like I would if I was just going to eat it. I did it. Make sure you stay to the end of the video where there's going to be a poll for you to answer. I did it about, I want to say, maybe about 4 or 5 minutes, you know, after it started steaming. And I wanted it not cooked all the way. I still wanted it to be, you know, pretty stiff because we're going to bake it. And the cheese sauce, I'm going to actually want to be absorbed by the cauliflower. If you already had the cauliflower all the way cooked, then it's probably going to end up mushy and it won't taste as good. Alright, so while we're doing that, I'm going to set this over here out of the way. Then I'm going to take a medium-sized, you know, boiling pan, and I'm going to, let me get this stuff out of the way for a minute here. I'm going to put it on this burner for now. But I'm going to put the 1 cup of heavy whipping cream in there. Okay. I got that in there. Then I'm going to put in the 2 ounces of cream cheese. Okay. Then I'm going to put some salt and pepper in there. And then we're going to get the cream cheese to melt and get the heavy whipping cream warmed up a little bit. So in the meantime, you know, you got these going, just check them. Okay, cool, that side's nicely browned. So I'll flip it. Flip this one. Flip that one. These ones are almost, you know, where I want them. And again, you know, you're not cooking it completely through. As you can see, it's putting a little crust on both sides. And then once we have these browned, I can actually move this up to this burner and we can get working on the cheese sauce. Let me get this can opened really quick. And then you want to make sure you drain these. You don't want all that liquid in your cheese sauce. Just let them sit in the a strainer until we're ready to use them. So okay, I'm going to pull this off the burner. I'm going to check the bottom. Okay, see how both sides are seared nicely so the breading won't come off. We just get these spread out in this pan right here. Okay, and then we'll obviously have to wash this. I'm just trying to get it out of our way for a minute. Okay, then I'm going to get the pork in the oven. Alright, and again, that's 375 degrees. And I'm going to cook them for about a half an hour in there. But once the oven gets up to temperature, I should have started it way before now. Okay, so now I'm going to move this pan up here where I can work with it. And we're going to find our whisk, which right here is my whisk. As soon as this starts getting warm, we're going to whisk up that cream cheese, get that all melted nicely. And then we're going to add the Parmesan cheese, the diced tomatoes, and then right here I got the 4 ounces of mozzarella cheese and the 2 ounces of cheddar. So once this gets hot, you want to whisk this around so you get that cream cheese all melted in there nicely. And you know, you could make this into a dip as well. If you know you wanted to have some pork rinds and some dip, this would be a great keto dip. Okay, so now that's melting nicely. Now I'll add the diced tomatoes. I'm going to stir that up again with the whisk. Okay, now we just want to get this to simmer lightly, and we'll add the cheeses. And then that's going to be it for the cheese sauce. And then I already have the cauliflower right here in a bowl. And I'll add the cheese sauce right to this, stir it all up. And then I have these cool little containers right here. This is a great serving size for keto. So what I'll do is I'll fill this up, you know what I mean, with the cauliflower mac and cheese mixture. So all right, now we have the tomatoes in here, the heavy whipping cream, and the cream cheese, and we're gonna just get that to simmer lightly. Okay, it looks like it's about to simmer. And then we'll add the Parmesan cheese, which is a 1/4 cup. We'll stir that again. And then we're going to add the 4 ounces of mozzarella and the 2 ounces of cheddar that I shredded myself. Get that right in there. Okay, so I got that in there. And, you know, like I said, you want this simmering, not boiling, because it will boil over in a hurry. And then you just mix all this up till all the cheese melts. Okay, and then once that's melted, that doesn't take long when you put it in there and it's already simmering. Alright, so try to take a look at this cheese sauce, how thick it is. See how it's not runny? And that's with the tomatoes in there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this right to the cauliflower that I have in the bowl. Okay, just like that. And then I use this big spoon to stir it all up. And you know, you could put bacon in this. I mean, there's so much you could do to make this recipe your own. But I like to keep it simple, use the least amount of ingredients as possible. And then that way, you know, it's less room for error. I've noticed when you keep keto simple, it truly is simple. It's time once again in my video to do the question of the day. So my question for you today is how long have you been doing the ketogenic lifestyle? And have you had any struggles doing it? You know, is it hard for you to maintain? Me personally, you know, I started about 14 months ago. I haven't found any struggles. I mean, at first I didn't like avocado very much, but now I eat it daily. So leave me your answer down in the comments. I'd sure love to know more about my followers and how you're doing in your keto journey. Alright, so now we're just going to take these 3 containers here. Okay, and we're just going to scoop it right out of the bowl. Make sure, like I said, you have it all mixed nice and thoroughly. And then just take it right out of the bowl, pour it right in here, and fill that right up to the top like that. And that's going to be your serving. That's going to be a perfect serving size for you. Okay? Alright, so there's 2. And then because I'm going to have leftover of this, you know, this could be another side for my meal later during the week. Okay, so now I have those 3 ready to go in the oven. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this little cookie sheet right here. Because if you set those in the oven just like that, you take the chance of them spilling. So I'm just going to put them right on here. Just like that. And then we'll throw this in the oven. The pork's already in there. Okay, so now we got them in the oven. And now I'll set my timer for 30 minutes. Oops, see, it just got up to temp. Remember what I said about it? Once it gets up to temp, I'll do 30 minutes on the pork. Alright, so I got the timer set for 30 minutes. And you know, you could very easily make this your own recipe by adding, you know, some diced ham, some crumbled up bacon, some mushrooms to the cauliflower mac and cheese. And then, you know, you could put that in a casserole pan, make double the amount, and that could be the complete meal. You know, I like to have some meat. I'm a meat eater, so that's why I wanted to do, you know, the little, it's probably going to be like a 5-6 ounce piece of, you know, pork. Breaded like a chicken fried steak. It's going to be delicious. Alright, so here we're going to pull the food out and take a look. Fresh out of the oven. Be careful because the contents are going to be very hot. I don't know if you guys can still hear that sizzling. But that looks so good. And there's the chicken fried pork tenderloin. Still sizzling out of the oven. If you want to watch more cooking videos like that, click on this one. Click over here to subscribe to my channel. And as always, share this with your friends and family. Let's get the word out. Let's see how many lives we can save and change for the better.